knows. Gerwyn Price won yesterday. He will not do the double. And that is down to that man right there, Glenn Durrant, who did for him in the semi-finals. A thrilling 7-6 victory for Duzza, who is looking to claim a third PDC title in this stunning debut year. Jose de Sousa is having a stunning debut year in the PDC himself, but it took a little while for him to get going. Now he is going, though. Maybe he cannot be stopped. Some astonishing stuff being produced by the Portuguese, who's already won his first title in PDC darts.
25.
Either Duzza makes it a third, or de Sousa doubles up. I'm Dan Dawson, Chris Murphy alongside me for the final. £10,000 on the line. And what a way for Duzza to warm up for the World Grand Prix.
Well, it may well be the strongest Players' Championship field of the season. Whoever comes out on top of this tournament.
25. Jose's won the ball.
Boast that they won the toughest Players' Championship event to win.
Jose to throw first.
From yesterday's lineup, we had Michael van Gerwen added. Didn't make much of an impact in the tournament. He was dumped out in the second round by Alan Norris. We also saw Rob Cross go out at that stage. Gary Anderson as well.
180.
The likes of Glenn Durrant and that man Jose de Sousa have booked their place in this final with some irresistible errors. And it started the way they've got here.
180.
What a start. Well, de Sousa, that was his 24th maximum of the day. Not bad going.
Not bad at all. It was Glenn Durrant's 15th. This will not be his 16th. De Sousa has come close to hitting a 9-dart leg today. He's missed double 12 for the second time in a matter of weeks. We have had a perfect leg that came from Mensa Suljovic, a man that Jose dispatched of 83. In the semi-finals quite convincingly as well.
Yeah, he's only really had a couple of games where he's not been playing absolutely top-class level darts. A win against Jesus Nogueira, which you had on the other streaming board, but he was comfortable, wasn't he? Even though it wasn't as brilliant as some of his other displays today. And he saw off Mark Webster 6-4. That's as close as anybody's got to de Sousa today.
Yeah, Glenn Durrant's had perhaps a few more trials and tribulations, not least in the last couple of matches against Ian White and Gerwyn Price. More on that in a moment, but he's looking at a big checkout to break the throw here. Not going to get a dart at the bullseye.
121.
Well, which way would it go here? Should be treble 19.
It should be, but I'm not sure Jose knows quite yet. Is it treble 13? Oh, and he's pinned it to leave tops. Dawson stands at the back and shakes his head. He can't believe what he's seeing.
It's in. Of course it's in.
Game shot.
Jose de Sousa is just incredible in many, many ways. He loves a gamble, doesn't he?
Well, look, the reason that's an odd shot, and he did similar on 77 earlier on, it's great if you hit the treble, but if you only hit the single,
46.
Then you don't get a dart at a double. You have to go for the bullseye. Now, he did that earlier on, and he took out the bullseye. It was 77 finish. He went on 15s. If you go, in that instance, at the 19s...
16.
Yeah, if you hit the treble, you go to double 11. But if you hit single, you can go 20 for double top. So it's easier to hit the double than going for the bullseye. That's the thinking. That's what normal players do. That's what professional players do. Jose de Sousa does not business with any of that nonsense.
We did witness in the final that he won against Gerwyn Price, him try that 3 tops trick that he tried against Michael van Gerwen on the Euro Tour very early in that final. And Price kind of crumbled after seeing such exploits, of which he'd never witnessed by an opponent ever
100
before. And I just sometimes wonder if Jose de Sousa is playing the clown, but really is a wily old fox.
You think he's a master tactician?
I think it's a possibility.
60.
You think this is all a cunning ruse? Jose de Sousa, he pretends to be almost totally innumerate to lure his opponent into a false sense of security.
That kind of attitude can get you to into the highest office.
$137.
Does her down to another big combination finish, but de Sousa should be on something easier. It could be a lot easier.
81.
Glenn was eyeing up 164 in the first leg to break the throw. He needs 160 to hold it. He can't do that in this visit. But will he get another visit? That's the question.
100.
Good guide for that 19. But he can't find the treble he needed.
92.
Ah, that old chestnut. 54 to leave 34, eh?
He's done it again on purpose, just to bamboozle his opponent. There's no way he's going to hit this now.
Game shot.
All right, he has.
Jose de Sousa, a master of the dead cat shot. Distract your opponent by doing something odd, like throwing a dead cat into a room. They're too busy looking at that. They miss their darts. Not Dozer, though.
140.
One apiece. Decent start to this decider. It will be a very welcome run for Glenn Durrant ahead of his
95.
debut at the World Grand Prix. Handed a tricky opener against Krzysztof Ratajski, who himself got to a final yesterday. So Durrant has
96.
at least levelled up the pre-tournament confidence meter.
He's in that section of the draw that's, I mean, that half of the draw is anybody could come through it, but the winner of Durrant Ratajski plays the winner of Rob Cross, Mensur Suljevic. You've seen
100.
how well Mensur is playing.
Well, come on, seeing as we've got you now, Dan, and we've got a moment. Who will win it? Who's going to go on and win the Grand Prix?
I think Gerwyn Price is going to win it, but then again, I've made some predictions this year for big TV tournaments that have gone horribly wrong.
This is true.
95.
None of the 12 players that you suggested would win the World Match Play went on to win the title. But he should go upstairs here.
81.
Doesn't need to go for this, but he will, because he's Jose de Sousa. Doesn't need to go on the treble 20 there. What was he doing? Was he just
52.
checking it was still there?
Well, Durrant could put a chunk in this 225 and apply some pressure here, and he's likely to do so now. He's going to fill it up, isn't he?
140.
It's one of my favourite bits of Glenn Durrant's game. He has this ability at crucial moments to pull out these incredible setup shots and pile pressure on your opponent, but de Sousa doesn't seem to be bothered about what's going on around him. Ooh.
98.
Just had to peer around the corner of the dart that he planted in the treble to see if that was in or not. Durrant will get, or should get, at least a dart at the bull, but now has to find a treble to get a dart at double. Did something similar in the semi-final. He pulled it off. It left him on his favourite double. He's left it again. This time he
69.
can't find it.
Very nearly got himself out of that hole. De Sousa double 10 to make it 3 legs, 1 on throw in this final.
Game
It's
shot.
exactly what's happened. Well, Glenn has been in 3 finals. He lost his first one to Dave Chisnell, but then he won his next 2, beating the
80.
Belgian number 1 Dimitri Vandenberg, then beat the Lithuanian number 1 Darius Labanauskas. Now he's up against the Portuguese number 1.
134.
Yeah, great stories as well. Both of these men, let's not forget, are actually in their first year of playing on the PDC professional circuit. Glenn Durrant obviously coming across with much more of a fanfare and a higher weight of
78.
expectation. Jose de Sousa has had a longer wait. He was telling you in his interview after beating Gerwyn Price in that final that he'd been fighting for a quarter of a century to become a professional player. And he's certainly grasping his chance.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as if he smashed his way through Q School and had a blinding start to the year. I mean, he only got through on points at Q School, much like Dozer himself.
Yeah, having missed out by a single point last year.
180.
Dozer with a second maximum, couldn't leave a finish, so the 163, not really his fault. De Sousa can leave a finish.
140.
And it's a 2-darter as well. But yeah, the start of the year, you know, first round exits, he had a last 16, but he didn't make a quarter-final until April, Jose. It wasn't an explosive start, like Dozer, who hit the ground running straight away.
30.
Reached a final in his first or second weekend?
First weekend final, second weekend, 1-1. Doesn't get a dart for the leg in this visit to Sousa, does it? I mean, it's really hurt him, that shot of 30. The Sousa's trying to figure out what to do.
61.
He's left 32 by hitting that treble 8. Knew exactly what he was doing.
I genuinely don't know if he was trying that.
He's trying this, but his attempts
93.
failed. De Sousa now can break the throw for the first time in the match, and has.
Game shot.
13 darter gets the break against Mensur Suljevic. He built up what looked a commanding lead, and then it turned out to be, because Mensur, try as he might, just couldn't find a way back. He was 3-1 down, then 4-1 down, and he was able to
140.
look at that. I mean, he has that sort of snatchy throw. He sort of hops up, and still it just fires into the treble 20. The way De Sousa has been playing over the last few weeks in particular, you feel
60.
that there are 11 and 12 darters round the corner at any moment. And so if he does get a lead, you can try. But one of those world-class legs is coming, and it will just inch him
100.
closer to the finishing line.
Durrant has work to do in this final, his fourth final as a PDC player.
132.
Lost his first against Dave Chisnell. And he went on to beat Dimitri
85.
Vandenberg the following week, as you alluded to, and then a win against Darius Labanauskas back in May, as he doubled his title tally.
58.
But right now, it's not looking like he's going to add to it this afternoon.
Well, there is still time, and Glenn
38.
Durrant is a player who very nearly won in his first weekend of PDC darts, having come from a long way back against Dave Chisnell. He is a fighter. He is a grafter. He will dig deep. You'll never see him just give up and just go, well, I can't win from here.
Yeah, very, very rarely do you see
138.
Glenn Durrant beaten handsomely when you flick through the scores at the end of the day. Often a hard-fought battle, which is why he was in the matches against White and Price. He's trying to leave himself on double 12.
Don't bust it, Jose.
98.
So to cancel out the break, 113 is the target. Big moment coming up this. Treble 19 would have left double 18 instead. Jose De Sousa is going
53.
to get 3 clear at tops.
For 4-1.
Game shot.
And this now looks like a must-win leg for Glenn Durrant. If he cannot hold his throw here, he will go 5-1 down, and then you would start thinking back to De Sousa versus Gerwyn Price in his last Pro Tour final,
82.
where he just ran away with it.
Yeah, no nerves. No sense of occasion, just
100.
carries on, just loves playing darts. We speak to Rod Harrington, who has stepped in and commentated on a couple of matches this weekend. We're very grateful
59.
for that. He will tell you the reason that Jose De Sousa is not the best at counting is because the majority of his darts have been played on soft tip
140.
machines, and they do the counting for you.
Yeah, and that's undoubtedly... Look, if you're going to be good at one thing, either throwing the darts or counting, it's better to be good at throwing the darts, because the counting, you can improve pretty simply. Dozer is absolutely raging with himself here. And that won't improve his mood.
68.
Yeah, De Sousa has snatched the darts in this leg, looking for another break here. He just looks totally at ease with
83.
himself. Glen Durrant at times in this final looking under duress.
Needs to fill it up. Surely will from there. Oh, that is superb. Again, Glen Durrant with a set-up shot. Just in that zone, sort of between 200 and 300, and he'll find those great visits that just change the shape of legs, change the dimensions of the match.
60.
He finds himself actually in front. Similar combinations in front of the pair of them. Does that. Wants to stay there. Well, he's decided not to.
92.
He would have wanted to, just because he's been so good on double 16, not as effective on tops. Will that miss come back to haunt him?
Dozer looks to the skies. He knows what's coming.
98.
He feared it.
Big moment in this final. Double 10.
Game shot.
Landed by Glen Durrant, who closes the gap to a couple of legs.
It felt like a must-win leg, and there's a big sigh of relief from Glen there because he had to survive a dart for 5-1. First to
41.
8, remember, in the final. It is an extended format, and we saw yesterday how important that has been, because if it was first to 6, Gerwyn Price would have won it easily. If it was first
100.
to 7, Krzysztof Ratajski would have won it. But it was first to 8, and Price nicked it anyway.
$95.
Another well-timed maximum from Glen Durrant. Snatches the darts in this leg, and the prospect of breaking back here is very much on the cards.
Yeah, 4 maximums in this final so far for Glen Durrant de Sousa, who'd hit 23 coming into this. Only hit 1. That was the first leg. Not seen one since. And yet, he still finds himself 2 legs clear, but maybe not for much longer, because Dozer's on the charge.
On the charge. And in the zone.
$57.
Treble 19 for double 12. The best leg of the final. Well, he's changed the MO because he's got time on his side and left himself on that double. Had a plan and executed the plan.
Yeah, using the bullseye to guarantee a dart at the outer ring. He had a choice of which to go to. And that double 18 that has served him so well in pressure moments works for him again. And all of a sudden, Glen Durrant, who had to survive 95. A dart for 5-1, in the blink of an eye, is throwing to level this game at 4 apiece.
85.
Perfect first dart. And that's why he's so frustrated not to follow it with the second
85.
or the third.
It is maybe unsurprisingly the first meeting between the pair, but they will know each other fairly well. They're in the same management stable, travel
135.
back and forth from hotels to venues together and all that carry on. Durrant will be under no illusions as to how good an operator his opponent is.
Well, didn't Dozer end up doing a bit of a dance during the interview of José's when he won his first title?
Oh, is that what it was?
140.
Yeah.
$60.
One straight out of the Ian White playbook, wasn't it?
Serious business here, though. Dozer's got his game face on. And he's put in 2 very, very strong legs. And he's looking to end them both on double 18.
140.
It was a dozen dart break on this double in the last leg. Followed by a 13 dart hold to tie things up. 4 apiece.
Well, where's your money now? It might have been firmly on José de Sousa when he'd gone 4-1 up and looked to be going 5-1 up.
140.
But Glen Durrant, he has gears. He's moved his average up to 100. He's been averaging more than 101 for the entire day. This is what he's been doing. You could see the frustration when he went
58.
behind early part of this game. It just wasn't playing at the level that he had done all the way through today.
There was just a slightly
60.
quizzical look on the face of Sousa a moment ago. There you see just a head tilt back. He feels that his best game has started to run away from him. Does Glen Durrant feel like he can run away from him a little bit in this final?
59.
Well, the extended format, you do have that extra time for games to go back one way, then the other.
100.
Has had to ride his luck at times, had to come back against Gerwyn Price, had to survive match darts
96.
against Ian White. Well, it was one match start, wasn't it? Should have been 2.
Yeah, Richie Edhouse pushed him to 10 legs, but I mean, there have been some absolute
60.
annihilations. Cristo Reyes averaged 101, didn't win a leg against Duzza.
Yeah, Reyes is who beat him in the second round yesterday,
57.
was handed a dish of revenge.
Yeah. Reyes averaged 101 yesterday. That was good enough for a 6-1 win. He's averaged 101 today and got done 6-0.
130.
And you could be getting a tweet from him later on, Dan.
Yes.
He says he always goes out to the winner, doesn't he, Cristo Reyes?
He does. He's done it the last couple of tournaments.
I mean, half the sentence is right. He always goes out.
93.
Just a fact.
Back in form, though, Reyes.
Certainly is.
Been good.
Back-to-back quarterfinals before today. Sousa looking to end the run of legs for his opponent on double 2.
7 scored.
Now, this would hurt. It would put Jose de Sousa behind for the first time in the match. It's just a little short. He's just getting a few of those where he's pulling them low, and again on the 18s there.
43.
To regain the lead.
Game shot.
There it is. Another step towards another title.
There are not many players with more experience than Glen Durrant of winning finals.
96.
Yes, this is only his 4th one in the PDC, but he's dominated the BDO. Winning titles
141.
all over the world against some very, very good players. Some of them were tight. It was only last year when he won the World Trophy, a 10-7 win against Michael Unterbuchner.
100.
The Lakeside final, of course, was a bit more of an easy affair for him, a 7-3 win against Scott Waits, but you do not win the amount of
97.
titles that Glen Durrant has accrued without learning from those experiences, being able to calm yourself at important moments, to be able to deliver.
98.
Two players as well who this definitely means
140.
something to. Well, De Sousa there got the sums wrong again, but got away with that. Had he not found the treble, he would have not been on a checkout.
Down the board. Oh, what a setup. Again, a
171.
fabulous setup shot from Glen Durrant to leave that double 18. But De Sousa, who shouldn't have been leaving 1-2-3, he could still do this. Treble 18 for the bullseye. Oh my word, that would have been
98.
brutal.
Well, double 18 has been a key feature of this final for Glen Durrant. Twice he's been to it. Twice he's hit it, not this time. Has to switch to double 9, and he's gone in the 9.
28.
And it's left him in trouble.
To open up a two-leg gap once more. It's there. Jose de Sousa breaks Durrant's throat. And he might be picking up a second PDC title.
2 in front and 2 away. And 2 in the bed.
140.
Durrant needs to dig deep. You mentioned that final at the start of the year against Dave Chisnell where he did that. It wasn't quite enough to win it. But he is digging deep. And he's digging up gold.
Oh, how often do you see it? A player misses a couple of doubles and it's stuck in their head and it infects their next leg. They don't throw properly. They're distracted. None of that does it. He knows. There's no time for that. He's just got on with things and produced a perfect 177 start. This is how you hit back. This is darts of a world-class world champion.
137.
Well, you can see there's certainly tension down there. You can see that it does mean a lot to the pair of them. At this stage of their careers, these floor titles are extremely important to the pair of them.
Well, it gets some opportunities, doesn't it? You know, Glenn Durrant qualified for the match play in his first year. Fabulous achievement. Then to go and make the semis, incredible. But he's already in the top 40 in the world. And he's going to be a seed at Ali Pali, you would think.
135.
It was important for Glenn, and not everybody agreed with him that he had anything to prove coming over to the PDC, but he did feel it was important to prove that he could win on the
81.
PDC tour. He's done it a couple of times already. He could be doing it again today, because this would get him right back in the match.
To break back. Again, it's just outside. A little shuffle over to try and use that dart.
36.
But it's 2 more misses from Duzza. And this is a match winner. This is a title winner. But it's not going to go.
100.
Takes off a ton and heaps a ton of pressure on the shoulders of Glenn Durrant. Does he feel it? Is he feeling it?
He fancied it. He thought it was in. That one is. What a shot that is. Incredible dart from Duzza. Needed it. Got it. Throwing to level once more. It is quite conceivable that Glenn Durrant does not lead at any point in this final until the very last dart of it.
177.
Back-to-back legs now. He's kicked off 177. Back against the wall and comes out fighting.
Look, these numbers that he's posting
83.
are not as high as some of the ones he's been posting over the course of today. Not as good as his game against Ian White, Richie Edhouse, certainly not Cristo Reyes. And yet, you are seeing, under immense pressure, the stakes have not been higher than they have all day.
96.
There have been moments where Glenn Durrant has produced absolutely stunning visits, given the context. Whether it was that double 4 or the 177 to start those legs.
100.
The 180 setup shot earlier on when he was struggling at 4-1 down. They are game-changing visits.
$58.
Leaves himself 170. It's something that Glenn Durrant has already taken out today, at least once. He won his match with Richie Edhouse with a 170 checkout. But de Sousa is not down to a finish. You expect Duzza to take the pragmatic approach and try and leave himself on a double.
$134.
Superb setup. Poised to level. It's that double 18 again.
133.
Scratching my head as to why he's going that route, but it matters not, because Duzza's looking at double 18. And now it's across to double 9 again. And
18.
What has been such a strength for him on so many occasions has become a bit of an Achilles heel over the last 3 legs. Great dart. It's double 18. Dozer turns away. He's just been spurned by double 18 himself and double 9. But Sousa misses them both.
Well, what does Dozer do here? Split or hit? Splitting. Is he hitting? He hasn't
14.
hit. And he could be hit hard.
I think Glenn knows it could be the visit that costs him the title today. Double 4, Jose.
Seven scored.
Well, the dart in Dozer's mouth represented his heart. But he can breathe a sigh of relief. And now will take a deep intake of breath to compose himself on one of the dodgiest of doubles. Now to the dodgiest of doubles. And it could be the most important one he hits all afternoon.
A 21 darter, the worst leg of this final. It may be the most vital. 4 darts missed for a 7-5 lead by Jose de Sousa, but just hits back as if nothing has happened.
$95. $140.
Well, they keep going, don't they? The focus, the tension. But they keep producing, and nobody is any closer to knowing which way this final is going to go. De Sousa had a 4-1 lead at one stage. He had the chance to move to the brink in the previous
85.
leg. Durrant just does not roll over and die.
Needs to fill these. Needs to. Oh, Glenn Durrant, once again he goes to the well, and once again he gives himself a chance.
Well, that's 177s in each of the last 3 legs from Glenn Durrant. Quite remarkable. Should be treble 10 this.
90.
Where he was aiming. Durrant has the chance, though, to add a big finish to his armour in this final. If he takes it out, it becomes favourite for the match.
He won't take it out, so he is relying on Jose missing. Can he force the miss by pressuring him?
58.
Not as much as he'd like.
But anything is missable at this stage. 2 darts at tops to move one ahead and 1 away from the title.
Such a solid dart. Plumb in the top of double top. Durrant chastises himself.
Is that it?
45.
Has he given as good as he's going to get in this final?
There may be another little twist. De Sousa has led all the way through this. He was pegged
60.
back from 4-1 to 4-all, from 6-4 to 6-all. Can Dozer peg him back again? He has to peg him back in this leg to force a decider. But the head started shaking. He's not happy, and that's back-to-back 45s. Is Dozer slipping away in this one?
Well, it's quite rare that we've had last leg decider since we extended the format to 15 legs on the Players' Championship circuit. But if this goes all the way, it would be 3 in a row. We've had quite remarkable finals of late. The 8-7 win for Suljovic against Ian White 55. In Barnsley, in which White landed a perfect leg and averaged 108, but lost. fight and frostiness of the final yesterday as the Iceman edged out Crystal
140.
And this game of cat and mouse between Glenn Durrant and Jose de Sousa, it looks as if the mouse is about to get away.
Well, it's just abandoning.
96.
That's the first big treble he's hit in this leg. And de Sousa should get match darts in this leg. He should get a chance to claim a second PDC title. A second within 3 weeks.
100.
But he could have looked at the bullseye there, 25, and it'd have been on a straight ton. But Durrant is in big trouble here. Has to rescue this.
77.
It's not enough.
6 darts from 105 for Jose de Sousa. The first Portuguese player ever to win a PDC ranking title might be about to double his tally in less than a month. Double top for de Sousa to do doza.
85.
Just clip the underside of the wire. Still unlikely that it will go all the way to the wire, but Durrant can just land a big shot, pile on the pressure. Make him wait, Glenn. Make him think.
134.
There is some pressure on this. De Sousa has missed one match start, but he does
Game
not
shot
miss
and the
another,
match.
and it is delights for De Sousa in Dublin as he picks up a second PDC title in this, his debut year, against another man who's already picked up 2 titles in his first year on the tour. Glenn Durrant defeated by Jose de Sousa in the final of Players Championship 28. We have just 2 more of these Players Championship events to stream here on PDC TV. Jose de Sousa will be looking to have a big say in them. Glenn Durrant will be looking to have a big say in Dublin at the World Grand Prix, but we're going to hear from the winner, Jose de Sousa, now talking to Dan.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You've proved that what happened 3 weeks ago, not just a lucky day. You've shown that you can win these things. You're a top player in the world of darts.
Yeah, well, the final it's not my best game, but I have a very hard players with a complicated game, you know. And my 3 final, what do you think? And I win. Whoa. For me, it's a moment magic. I think for every player who wins some title, it's a great moment.
To beat the players you've beaten, Mensur Suljovic, a major winner, a world champion in Glenn Durrant, a reigning world champion. You've proven if you can beat those guys, you could do anything in this game. It's not just limited to winning in places like this or Barnsley or Wigan. It's the TV tournaments that you could be a real threat in, couldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, you know, here it's very difficult because, you know, all the players play 200%. And like I said before, if I make my game, maybe can I beat almost everybody, maybe. So I really work hard, you know, I practice every day, and I hope in the future can I make much more.
You're based in Spain.
Yeah.
We've seen Jesus Nogueira, who's turned up and had a run here. Cristo Reyes is playing great again. Tony Alcinas, Jose Justicia went on a run.
Yeah.
Is darts getting, steel-tip darts, is it getting bigger in Spain? Obviously you're from Portugal originally, but you're based in Spain.
Now they start to make things for the players, you know. I hope in the future the players can take the initiative to take the school PDC, to go the Pro Mundial de Avila, try things, you know. If you don't try, you don't know, you know. So I hope in the future maybe can more players from Portugal and Spain.
You will be going to Minehead, the Players' Championship Finals. Hi, Kim.
Come on.
1 minute. He's just won £10,000. You get a later flight if necessary. You'll be going to the Players' Championship Finals in the top 10 in the seedings. you look like you're going to be in the top 64 at the end of your first year. Did you think this was possible when you came through Q School on points early on this year?
I cannot imagine that, because I come my first year. I know I'm come up with my neighbor, and I say maybe can I make some things in this year, but all I want is take experience for the next year. And this year I come too much early to up, and I'm stay there. So I continues my work, and we'll see in the future what I can do.
We will see. Very exciting. Absolutely superb.
Thank you.
We've got a top player here, his second PDC title, the first player from Portugal ever to win one, and he's doubled up. That's just 3 weeks later. We've got the World Grand Prix coming up, starting here at the City West in Dublin over the next 7-8 days. Michael Van Gerwen, Glenn Durrant will be in action there. Then we've got 2 more Players' Championship events after that. It's going to be midweek stuff. Well, we have this man. Who knows? Who knows? There's 2 more he could win. He could go to Minehead as the top seed. It's all on PDC TV and Sky Sports. We shall see. This man is doing it on the floor. Let's see if he can do it on the big stages.